Hello guys, gals, and my non-gender conforming pals. Welcome to my channel. My name is Carrington. If you're new here, I would love if you would consider subscribing. So for today's video, I'm going to be testing out the Rose Decadence palette from mcgrath. I love her shadows. I think they're absolutely stunning. I love everything about her packaging. I just think in general she is just a really good brand. I know she's more expensive, but you're paying for the packaging, you're paying for the name, you're paying for the extraordinary shadows. And I'm also going to be pairing that, instead of using one of her shimmers on my eyelids, I'm instead going to use this Natasha Denona Chromium. I think this is so beautiful, and this is in the shade Ultraviolet. I bought another one, infra nude, I think is what it's called, but I just felt like the Ultraviolet would probably go a little bit better with the eye look I'm thinking about doing. So first I'm going to do some swatches. Unfortunately, I have to do them on my arms like this because I've got tattoos all over. So let's go ahead and get started with some swatches. First is Pink Champagne. Oh, that's stunning. Next is Peach Dusk. This is a matte. See, like even her swatches are really good. Next we have Fuchsia Flame. Third we have Hedonistic Rose. And then we have Scandalous. And then last on this one we have Golden Honey. And then I'm going to do the Natasha Denona Chromium. So in this palette she only has 2 mattes. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to prime our eyelids. You guys, as you see, I have hooded, droopy eyelids. I have tried so many eyeshadow primers for my eyes. I have tried concealer with and without powder. I have tried NARS. I've tried MAC. I've tried the Painterly paint pots. I've tried P. Louise. And I just don't know if it's just not sticky enough. And so one day I was at Dollar General and I was looking at their Believe Beauty stuff. And I saw that they had this Believe Lock It In eyeshadow primer. And I was like, you know what? $5, give it a try. So I love this. This makes my eyeshadow last longer than any other eyeshadow primer that I have used. It's very sticky, but I think that's what I need for my eye shape, is something very sticky. I'm going to just lightly layer this on my eye, kind of cover the whole thing. Do it with my other eye. And then I take a brush. I've got my BH7. This is what I use every time for this. And then once I've blended that out with my brush, I'm going to tap it with my finger. And you can feel just how sticky it is when you tap with your finger. But I feel like that also helps kind of blend it out a little bit better. Okay, I think that's good. Alright, so first I'm going to go in with is Peach Dusk in this palette. And it has quite a bit of fallout in this pan, but I honestly don't think that that's like a deal breaker for me. I actually tend to have a lot more luck with eyeshadows that have fallout compared to the ones that don't, that are more hard pressed. So for me, I personally really like fallout. I feel like those shadows are a lot smoother. Okay, so I'm just kind of tapping it at first to kind of set the primer that we just put down, and then I'm just going to kind of go back and forth, windshield wiper motions. This is a BH5, if I didn't say that already, and just kind of start bringing it up closer to the brows. And the reason why I go so close to the brows is because when I do open up my eyes, as you can tell, the shadow kind of disappears. So I just kind of keep it up towards my brow, and I really work with it out here in this part to make sure that it doesn't just completely and totally disappear. So I'm just going to keep working it back and forth. Really loving this. It's a very light shade. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love this. You know, work some time with it, you know, with your eye being closed, as well as just being kind of open, so you can make sure that you're seeing some sort of shadow when you open up your eyes. If I would have just kept it right down here, it would have disappeared. Would have been gone. We would have nothing. Okay, I'm gonna do the other eye. And I don't like to do my brows first, and the reason why is because I have to bring up the shadow so far. So I don't want it to get all up in my brows, because as you can see, sometimes I'm kind of hitting the brows with as far up as I'm going, and I don't want it to interfere with any of the brow products that I have on. So here we go. Such a nice light color. Okay, there we go. I'm really enjoying that. I'm gonna keep my brush off to the side because sometimes whenever I start packing in the outer corner, or if I ever bring another one into the crease, I sometimes need to go back up on with that brush and kind of diffuse out the colors a little bit. So next, since I only have two mattes, we're only gonna work with two matte colors right now. And so I'm gonna go into Redonistic Rose, and I'm gonna take that on a Morphe E18. And this is perfect. It's nice. It's kind of small, buffed out brush. So we're just gonna kind of start packing it at first, especially on that primer. Okay. Then I'm gonna open up my eyes, and a lot of times I really need to really brush it or pack it along the lower lash line. This is one of the reasons I do my eyes first, is because a lot of times I really got to get out there and to get all of it covered, especially with all my creases and stuff and folds. So then, you know, it looks a little bit messy, so then I can go in with a wipe and just automatically clean it up. I feel like with this eye shape, it's really important to go ahead and just do your eyes first. So if you need any cleanup, it's easy to clean up. Alright, now that I've kind of packed it on there, I'm just going to lightly start bringing that over lightly, not a lot of color. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. See how messy that gets? Like, my eyes are completely and totally just so messy because of this. So then I'm going to take that brush that I used before, the Morphe, or no, the BH5, just kind of buff everything out, not adding any more products or anything, just lightly kind of buffing everything out and together. Okay, now that's done. I'm going to take my baby wipe, probably a little bit dirty from with my eye swatches. I'm just going to kind of start and see, much more cleaned up, much nicer. Kind of gives a sharp little edge, so just kind of buff that out a little bit. And again, starting here, in case we have any fallout or anything, easily cleaned up. Again, buff out that line. Okay. Now I'm going to take, this is Morphe, doesn't have a number on it or anything. I'm going to open up the Natasha Denona Chromium. I'm going to take it lightly on this brush. I'm going to lightly start to pack that in my wet area. Kind of going to bring it out a little bit more to mix into the other shadow, the outer corner shadow. Okay. Oh, I just hit myself in the nose. Okay. I love that. I feel like this ultraviolet is going really well with this look. These two pair really nicely. I'm sure the infra nude probably pairs really nicely with it as well. I just really thought ultraviolet was beautiful. It kind of spoke more to me than the infrared nude did. Okay, my poor palette has seen better days. I don't know if you guys can see all that fallout that's falling around the pan. Look and see, it's just absolutely beautiful. Stunning love it so much. Okay, I am going to finish off the rest of my makeup and then I will be back and we'll chat about it. Alright guys, I am back. This is the finished look. I will say, I decided I wanted to try out, because I bought these like 2 months ago, the Kiss magnetic liners. I'm not a fan. I feel like it's better in the fact that you don't have like glue everywhere, but now I have eyeliner everywhere. This inner corner like keeps popping up. I am just not a fan of them at all. As for the eyeshadow palette and the chromium, I'm wearing these for about an hour now, hour and a half, and it still looks really good. I will say, again, this primer is amazing. Usually by now, if I was using any other eye primer, this portion right here in my eyes would already be rubbing away because it's basically just hitting the inside folds of my eyes. Oh, see, look. That lash piece is already coming up again. It's driving me nuts. Okay. No. Alright guys, so that is the end of this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.